Do you remember what you saw on your way to work this morning? Have you noticed those small details around you? Like the sound of the city fountain, or the waiting people around it? Have you paid attention to the passing cars, or the noise of the city crowd? Have you heard of those people who see a wall not as a wall, a building not as a building, but as an obstacle?
Yes, I've heard of parkour and free running.
No, I don't know what it is.
Yes, I have. I heard about it a few years ago.
I've seen people doing it once or twice. I've seen people doing it when I've been watching television.
No, I don't know who they are.
Yes, I've only really experienced seeing it on films. I haven't seen it much in the city centre, but I hear it's very popular around these places.
Yes, I've been doing parkour for 6 years now.
Can you show us something?
I suppose jump between those two curbs for you if you wanted.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay,
More than half of the UK's young people have heard of parkour and free running. It is mostly practised by boys between the age of 13 and 17, but the number of female practitioners is recently growing. People doing parkour feel they share a significant improvement in their fitness, balance and strength. On average, 1 in 6 boys have tried parkour. One of them is not only a practitioner, but also the founder of the Northern Parkour Society in Manchester.
Parkour is very difficult to define. If you watch a lot of videos on the internet, you might hear it defined as a training system where you're trying to get from A to B in the quickest way possible. But the more you look into it, the more you realise it's actually a little bit more than that. So parkour is basically a physical and mental discipline based around self-improvement. So once you start practicing parkour, it's difficult to see the environment in the same way again. So for example, if I'm outside, even if I'm not there to do parkour, I'm still seeing parkour. So I see a wall and I think, could I do that movement? And if I'm actually supposed to be working, so for example, I work as a sound engineer and I do a lot of location sound and audio stuff, but if I'm with a client and we're just wandering around the street, maybe we're on our way to a meeting or something, I'll still be assessing walls and stuff, looking for potential parkour movements. And you can't turn it off. It's always there. And it's just, I think that indicates a change in mindset of people who do practice parkour.
For me, really, it's just a way of bettering yourself and the way that you move, generally, and the way it changes the way you look at everything, really, because whereas you normally walk around things and you see a rail and you walk around it, now I'll just go and jump over it. I'm just out shopping or something, I think that's a quicker way, I'm going to go that way. And it just changes the aspect of the way you look at everything, really, which is great.
Generally, yeah, authorities, if you explain to them, are fine about it, and members of the public take an interest in it. I think it's gained more acceptance over the last few years because people have an awareness of it, whereas previously, it was just, what are they doing, jumping on walls?
Why not?
That's a hazard.
It's dramatic, it's quite visual as well.
It's a bit crazy, you might die.
That's brilliant, it's just another form of expression.
Particularly in an urban environment.
With more organised parkour groups across the country, the public now accept the activity and the way free runners use the environment. More authorities in fields such as education, health and fitness, policing and community development are recognising the potential of parkour.
On the occasions when we've had an encounter with the police, they've not really been a problem at all. One time just over there, we were doing some vaults on a low wall, and a police officer came over and asked us what we were doing, and we explained, and he said, "Oh, I think I've seen this on TV." He said, "So go on then, show us what you're doing." I said, "All right." I showed him a basic vault over a wall, and he had a go with all the police gear on. And also there's a couple of police officers who train with us today. There's one amongst us right now, in fact, but I'm not going to point out who. You've got to try and guess.
There are no limits if you want to practice parkour. It doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl, a police officer or a sound engineer. All you need is a pair of shoes and a strong motivation. Northern Parkour is a place where you can not only enjoy a new hobby, but also meet new friends. At the end of the day, when the streetlights turn on and people make their way back home, the city surroundings stay the same, waiting for the next day when those people who see a wall not as a wall, a building not as a building, will take on their new journey across the streets.